everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Emma.
And I'm Kylie.
And today we're going to be helping you maximize your wedding budget.
So today we're going to talk about a budget breakdown. We're going to be looking where the best to allocate each funds to make sure that you're reaching that budget and keeping and sticking to it. And next one, following that, we're going to talk about the hidden costs of your wedding, just to make sure that you're not going to have any nasty surprises along the way. And our third topic for today is how to cut costs for your wedding to make sure you're not going to make your wedding look cheap and nasty.
So we're going to help you with your wedding budget and break it down for you. So we've both got over 10 years of experience in the wedding industry, so we can see what works for our brides and where you should allocate your money. So starting with your reception, that's going to be your main cost. So you've got your venue hire, your food and your beverages. You're looking about 43%.
Then we've got our photographers and our videographers. So you're looking at your pre-photo shoots and obviously on the day shoots. And then obviously don't forget your live streaming, especially at this time. So we're looking around 16%.
Then we've got clothing and beauty. So your hair and makeup on the day for the bride and the bridesmaid, your wedding dress, of course, bridesmaids' outfits, groom, the suits, and the groomsmen. Don't forget about alterations.
Absolutely. Funny story, actually. A friend of mine, when she got married, one of the bridesmaids didn't try her dress on. And on the day of the wedding, it actually didn't fit. So here we were on the wedding day of my friend's wedding, calling all the stores that we could because it was off the rack to try and get her a new wedding dress to fit. We even contemplated changing all the wedding dress colours and sending the guys out to get new ties. Lucky for her, they had one in stock. We were able to get it just in the nick of time. So now we're looking at flowers and styling. So flowers and styling, we'd be looking at venue flowers. We'd also be looking at styling and venue flowers for the ceremony. Don't forget your buttonholes and your bouquets, and then any additional flowers around the venue. So you're looking around 10%.
Then we've got miscellaneous, so things like a wedding coordinator on the day, your wedding planner, favours, a photo booth, little additions like that. So about 8%.
Then we're looking at entertainment. So you're looking at either your DJs or your bands or your acoustic artists. So we're looking approximately around 2%.
And of course, we've got wedding cake. Can't have a wedding day without a wedding cake. So you're looking about 2%.
And then followed by transport. So we're looking at limos. We're looking at motorbikes. Don't forget your helicopters. So looking around 2%.
And we've got accommodation. So that would be the wedding night where the bride and the bridesmaids are getting ready, maybe on site at the venue or hiring an Airbnb locally. It's about 2% for that one.
And then we're looking at rings, approximately around 2%.
And of course, the official wedding ceremony. So you've got your hire of your chapel or your ceremony location. You may have some styling and your celebrant, about 1%. So don't worry if you didn't catch some of those figures. We're going to put it in a blog post for you, which we'll link below. So you're going to really pay attention to this part. It's really important. And there's lots of hidden costs that can be involved with your wedding budget that's really going to blow it out. So starting with, we've got delivery and transport costs. So your suppliers may have a delivery charge or transport to drop items off at your wedding venue. Your hair and makeup artists may have travel times, or your photographers may have a fee to travel from the location or where you're getting ready and having those photos to then moving on to the reception or your ceremony location.
And then we have additional setup costs. They can come from things of setting up on the day where your supplier might only have 2-hour access to the venue or wherever it might be to set up because that's the only time that they can be available. So they might need to get additional staff in to make sure that they can deliver what they're promised. They may also have additional setup costs because they need to make sure that they remove all their items from the venue at the end of the evening due to the policies of the venue.
And be mindful for additional time for services. So does your photography package cover all the hours that you would like? Does your music include just your reception, or do you need to hire an additional add-on hours for your ceremony or your canapé time?
And keeping in mind your public holidays and also sometimes the Sunday surcharges.
Then we've got minimum numbers, guest numbers, or minimum spend. So something really important to be mindful that you may not be aware of. Your venue or catering may have a minimum amount of guests, so even if you don't reach that, you'll still be paying for that. This can also vary depending on the day. You'll find higher minimum spends on Saturdays.
Then we have our cutting of the cake. So some venues do cut and serve the wedding cake, and some do obviously serve it in bags for guests to take home. Sometimes there is a per person surcharge, or they will charge you extra to serve it plated, usually with some cream and coulis.
Vendor meals. So a lot of suppliers, you may not be aware, but they'll have in their contracts, so your DJ, your photo booth attendant, that they require a meal or sometimes even beverages on the night of your wedding. You should also check with your caterer what price that's going to be for your vendor meals. Most of the time they can be cheaper than your guest meals, which is helpful.
Then we have cleaning costs. So additional cleaning costs like for confetti or something that shouldn't be used within the venue, or it might be something that's broken at the venue that maybe one of the guests did on the day.
Okay, tailoring, lastly. So something that can easily be missed. Almost everyone in your bridal party with outfits will need tailored. Keep in mind how many times you get your outfit or your dress altered as well. It's important to try your dress on with the shoes that you'll be wearing on the day of your wedding for height, and make sure that you can sit down in your dress and move around as well. So I'm sure this is the part you've all been waiting for, how to cut costs on your wedding day with class. So we're going to use our insider knowledge and give you some tips on really how to create that special day.
So first up, we want to find an all-inclusive venue. We want to find a venue that has parking on site and maybe able to assist us with transport as well. We also would love it if it had cutting of the cake inclusive as well. So that's one of your additional costs that we can cut out.
And then looking for local suppliers, so suppliers that are in the area to save you on those transport and delivery costs. So this is important with your photographer, your stylist, etc.
So next up, we've got the request a running sheet. So really good to request a running sheet from all your suppliers to see how you can integrate them into one. Once you've got one running sheet, you will find that you might be able to cut down some time of a DJ or a musician or something else along the way. So you might be able to use an iPhone or an iPod or something like that to use for your half an hour pre-dinner drinks and canapes before having the band or your DJ start.
And then we've got number 4, really prioritize on what's important to you and what's going to make the biggest impact. So if that's atmosphere, look at having live music and entertainment and cut down on other things. If the photography is a big deal, look at spending your money on a photographer and videographer package.
And then we're looking at DIY. So maybe look at making your own table decorations or place cards. It can be something really simple, or if you want to spend a lot of time on it, then obviously it will give you something extra to do on your weekends.
And cut down on your wedding favors. So do something that can be used as their place card. A lot of our brides recently have done some really beautiful handmade favors. So little beautiful soaps that smell and look nice on the table, or succulents.
And then we're moving on to design. So why don't you look at Facebook Marketplace or eBay? People sell things really cheap. They obviously have pre-loved them, but they've been part of their special day. So why don't you make them part of yours? And then even better, you can resell them.
And look at doing a cash bar, so a time when guests purchase own, and cutting down on your beverage packages. This is really common these days, to have a cash bar either at the beginning of your wedding or at the end of the wedding.
And then look for midweek specials. Even think about winter weddings. So you'll generally find that the events industry does have a winter season. So that's always June, July and August. So you'll generally find some pretty good deals during this time.
And wedding cake. There's a few different ways you can save on your wedding cake. So look at having your wedding cake and a kitchen cake that's served. So your wedding cake is more of a display cake. Or look at cutting it down to one tier just for the cutting of the cake.
And then our last tip that we've got for you is why not borrow a friend's car? Get them to give it a good clean and it can be your transport for the day. So that's the end of our episode for today. We hope you enjoyed and thank you very much for watching. We've had quite a few comments recently about our set design, so we'd like to a shout out to Arctic Fox and say a massive thank you from the team to say thank you for our set design. So her link is below, so please have a look. She does a lot of styling and florals for events, so please check her out.
And we'd love to hear from you. So leave us a comment, tell us what you'd like to see, what you thought of this video. We'll also be on Facebook and Instagram and our website, which will also have a link to our blog post. So we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.
Thanks.